Hello everyone, I am Bhuvan Verma, your host for a very special session of STEM Talk with Leaders. Students, you may come across a situation where you think that all the problems of the world have been fixed by human adults. However, that is far from truth. There are still challenges out there that need your fresh view. At India STEM Foundation, the national organizer of World Robot Olympiad in India, we understand that challenges are purpose-driven. You know how to push them regardless of setbacks. This year's World Robot Olympiad 2022 theme, as you all know, is My Robot, My Friend. We bring to you STEM Work series, hosting teachers, coaches, mentors to give you insights about World Robot Olympiad and its various aspects. Today, we have a very special guest for you, someone all WRO warriors want to hear from, our friend Claus Ditlev Christensen, Secretary General, World Robot Olympiad Association. Hello, Claus. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, Bhuvan. Good to see you. I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
All right, thank you. Okay, diving straight into our questions. Claus, our students are very curious to know, what is Claus tinkering with these days?
Okay, well, I can tell you that, well, let me start to say that it's been a rough 2 years. We all know that, so the pandemic and COVID made it difficult to be a live event organization. So we've been trying to look at what should we be doing going forward. And really, WO is all about reaching young learners and reach young learners in big numbers, but we also need to reach their teachers and their mentors. So what we are doing now, and I can't really go into too much detail, but I can give you a little bit of a sneak peek. We are looking into creating opportunities for the teachers in the classroom, because we all understand that many coaches in WO, they might also be teachers and they may have 3 or 4 keen students in their classes. So we want to equip and empower those teachers and qualify those teachers to be really good facilitators of problem-solving activities in the classroom and really make that step into competing in WO very, very neat. So yeah, I think something great is coming along, and you will see it, I think, when we get to 2023. That's all I can say at the moment, but stay tuned.
All right. So creating opportunities for teachers, mentors, and coaches, that is something that you are tinkering with. Excellent. That is a boon for the WRO community. That will be a boon for WRO community. Okay. Hopping on to my next question. Can you tell our students why are industry leaders so interested in STEM and STEAM education?
Well, I think it's, for my position, is very clear. My job is about liaising with industry. We need industry to be sponsors of WO, otherwise there wouldn't be a WO. And when we have conversations with them, it's very clear that they are all about finding the future workforce, right? So they are keen to see us develop the skills with the young people that they need for the jobs now and in the future. So that is their main reason for really coming on board with us. I'm pleased to say, that really also works well for us, because we are all about trying to bridge that gap between education and employability. I think participation in WO really builds those 21st century skills. And a recent published study actually proves that participation in WO does build those hard skills, but not just the hard skills, also the soft skills that are, I would say, perhaps even more important. And I think we'll get to that a little bit later. So one of the things I just want to highlight, participating in WO really gives you a deeper understanding of the challenges we face in the world, right? And this is what industry really wants. So come to WO.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So while our students are learning technical skills and soft skills, can you tell our students how important is hands-on training for school students?
Well, in my view, hands-on training is fundamental. I mean, it's important because you need to understand what method of learning suits you, and you really explore different methods of learning when you are hands-on. It's also an opportunity for you to understand what sorts of future training and career opportunities that will appeal to you. And also it really helps you start develop some of the skills that are needed, in your future jobs. So much of the global education system is really based on theory and learning by rote. And I think that doesn't necessarily suit everyone. And some people have their abilities ignored. That is not ideal. So even when it comes to computing and digital skills, a lot of that is taught, on screen without really considering the digital physical interactions. And those interactions are playing an increasingly significant aspect in industry today. We need to know how the technology is working, because when it's not working, what should we then do? And really hands-on is also at the core of robotics. And now I'm getting back to WRO, which is, of course, I'm a little bit biased, but hands-on learning is at the core of robotics. It is through hands-on learning that young learners are really, what should I say, encouraged to learn through exploration. And that is what we want. We want young learners to explore. You do that when you have hands-on and minds-on at the same time. And also, final point, it is commonly understood that when you are physically engaged, you engaged all your senses. And needless to say, when you have all your senses engaged, the learning impact is greater, right? So.
Certainly. I hope all the students viewing this talk are taking down notes, and the critical ingredients that go towards battling out in a challenge are all being talked about here by Claus. Okay, Claus, to my next question to you. Can you tell our students, how does STEM education help students in innovation?
Yeah, I think STEM education, it has to be broad STEM education. It has to be sort of playing on all, firing on all cylinders effectively. So, but that exposes you to a wide range of technology and technology applications in the real world. And when you then have a program like WRO where you have to solve real world problems, you are then now effectively being tasked to come up with solutions to real world problems. And that drives innovation. I would say it also even drives entrepreneurship, because when you then understand where there is a need, then that solution you have created through innovation is really what can create that entrepreneurial opportunity for you. But I think we get to that about entrepreneurship as well, don't we?
So, yes, absolutely. That brings me to my next question that students have been asking us. While they do a lot of innovation, can you tell our students, how does STEM education help them learn about entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think STEM education really teaches you about entrepreneurship when you're tasked with trying to find an application for the solution you have created through the innovative processes, right? So understanding the world around you and the market opportunities for your solution, that is really also what we in WRO challenge our participants and future innovators with, right? So if you have an understanding of the problems in the world and how that they can be solved with your solution that you have innovated, and how you can take that solution from idea to fruition, well, there you have it. You're building an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think that is just really at the core of WRO Future Innovators. And I hope many more teams in India will join Future Innovators in the years to come. We need to grow this category.
Certainly. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Claus. Okay, moving to my next question. Our students are curious to know, what are some of the myths and misconceptions that you've heard from students you interact with about STEM education?
Yeah, I think it's I'm quite privileged, in the fact that I'm surrounded by enthusiastic young learners every time I go to events. But I also have to be mindful that we work with quite a small cohort, of students, those who have seen the light, so to say, right? But there's a vast majority of students out there that are not part of WRO. And why are they not part of WRO? So once in a while, I do meet people, or young people, that are not joining WRO, and I ask them, why is that? Well, one of the myths is that it's difficult, right? So it's the most common, I think, understood myth. It's difficult to get into STEM. And it's boring, right? And it couldn't really be further from the truth. Of course, there's slight truth to this. It is difficult if you don't really have a good facilitator, if you don't have a good coach or a good mentor, if you haven't got a good program that you can join. So really, it comes back to us as an organization. We need to take our responsibility serious. We need to create programs that bring you in flow. Right, and also we need to bring opportunities for the mentors and the teachers to become comfortable in the role as facilitators, because oftentimes that's also the problem. But once you have secured all that, I think it's a question of really building intrinsic motivation through appealing, fun, motivating activities, the competitive landscape of WRO is, of course, also a driver for some, but not necessarily for all. But the intrinsic motivation, if you can build that, it's about taking one step after the other, one foot forward, another foot forward, and it's all of a sudden you're there and you're fighting for gold, right? So, but I would also say there also needs to be a little bit of expectations management built in here, because you can't just start and next day be the expert. You need to understand it is a journey, and you need to embark on that journey and take one step at a time. So if you do that, it's not difficult.
Certainly, students, it's a journey, but you have to take the first step. And there is no one more brave than our students. Thank you, Claus, for sharing your vision with our students. And we will continue our journey, remainder of our journey in part 2 of this discussion. Thank you.